So guys, we are about a month into the completion of the STI project car. I've been driving it for about 500, 600 miles at this point, and it has been great. There's been no check engine light, no issues that popped up on the car, and we're finally gonna do the rundown. The thing that you've all been asking about, how much money did this cost me? Buying the cheapest STI basically anywhere with a clean title, $7,000 on a 2017 with 86,000 miles on it. How much money did it cost to get it from that wreck we saw back in November to what you see before you today? And that's exactly what we're going to cover in today's video. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into this cost breakdown and see how much money I tied up in this project. So guys, really quickly, before we get into the cost breakdown and show a little bit of memory lane of everything we've done to this car along the way, from buying that $7,000 wreck to the completed STI you see before us, let's do a little once over, a little walk around, check it out, see what she looks like. So we did the front end conversion from the 2017 to the 2018 front end conversion. We added the JDM S4 fog light bezels with OLM LED turn signals and daytime running lights. We put an S209 Type RA front grille with the cherry blossom red stripe there at the bottom. We did the whole front end rebuild with the radiator support, the AC condenser, that Koyo radiator in there. We did a timing belt water pump because due to the mileage, it was time for that as general maintenance. We serviced the 6-speed transmission. We serviced the rear differential. We did some upgrades on the interior, which we'll talk about in a minute after we get around the walk around. We added the Type RA S209 rear bumper with the vents. Sorry, the car is dirty. It has been raining basically all week here in South Carolina. We did the JDM rear fog light here. We did the SPT STI exhaust. That fog light is now wired up and does work. And we got the 2018 plus 19-inch wheels, which we have not put on the car yet because it requires a 5mm spacer to clear the front Brembo brakes. And by putting that spacer on there, you need to extend the studs because there's not enough studs sticking out with that 5mm spacer to safely grab the lug nuts. So I have not purchased yet, but ARP does make extended length wheel studs for the car. So eventually I'll probably install those and those 19-inch wheels. Moving on to the interior of the car, sorry about the floor mat. I literally vacuumed this entire car out yesterday to take pictures for the ad where I'm posting it for sale. And again, it poured all day yesterday and I tracked some dirt into the floor, but this thing does clean up very nicely. We know that I replaced all of the black seat belts with the 2018 plus red seat belts because we had to replace seat belts due to the pretensioners. We did the piano black trim. We got rid of the faux carbon fiber. I don't think I did a video on that, but I did put the piano black trims in here. We got the piano black STI trim. We did the Type RA S209 Alcantara steering wheel. And then in the center console here, we did the Type RA piano black and leather stitched shifter surround. So big upgrades on the interior. Not a ton of stuff done as far as cost-wise, but it really made it look much nicer and less cheap than that faux carbon fiber that Subaru, for whatever reason, wanted to put in these cars. And the earlier stages of the V8 chassis, super clean interior in the car, really cleaned up well. But yeah, there's the rundown of the interior and exterior, what I've done. Now let's go and look at that cost breakdown and see exactly how much money I've sunk into this. All right, guys, with that walk around and interior shot done, let's go ahead and get to the cost breakdown. How much money have I invested in the car? Starting off, number one, how much I purchased the car for, which was $7,000. Again, this is a clean title vehicle. The insurance had lapsed on this car, so there was no report of that accident. Nowhere did it affect the title. 100% clean, clear, no issues, no salvage, no rebuilt, none of that, clean. $7,000 for the car. Then we got the airbags. I got the airbag for the driver steering wheel and the driver knee airbag for $600 used on Facebook Marketplace. After that, the radiator support. We had to cut out and weld in a new radiator support because it was mangled up bad in the wreck. That was $292 from Subaru. Time belt water pump kit. This car had 85,000 miles on it. It was due for time belt water pump service. While I had the front end of the car apart, I went ahead and did that service. And it cost $323.95 for the Aisin time belt water pump kit I put on the car. Next up, we've got the front JDM S4 bezels, the JDM rear fog light, and the JDM little coin fuse box cover. Have to have one of those in every Subaru I buy because Subaru of America, for whatever reason, cannot give us the little coin box. They have to give us that stupid fuse box cover instead and save $2 per car. That cost $349.99. Next was the radiator support actual labor of having it welded in. As y'all saw, I was in my buddy's body shop. I cut the old radiator support out. I fit it all together, test fit it. We test fit the hood, got everything lined up, clamped it all in place. I had him weld it up because it was his welder and his body shop, and also I'm not a great welder. And then he painted it all the correct white, crystal white pearl without the clear coat, of course. That was $550 for him to weld that all in and paint it. Next, we had a frame rail plate. The frame rail plates on either side of the frame rails were mangled, as we found out after I started cutting out the radiator support. Had to replace those. One of those was $13.15. I believe that was for the right side. The left side, we had to replace one of the gussets in the corner because it was mangled, and that plate. That was $46.75. Next, we had to replace all the seat belts. Well, I didn't have to replace all the seat belts, just the front two seat belts because of the pre-tensioners, but I wanted to upgrade to the red, so the backs had to be replaced to match the red front seat belts. That was $294.84 for the seat belts in the car. Next, I bought an owner's manual because I don't know why everyone takes their owner's manual out of their glove box. I don't know where you're taking them, where you're putting them. Leave them in the glove box, but this car did not have its leather-bound owner's manual or any of that. I bought one off of eBay for $32.35. Next was the big expense, the side curtain airbags on the driver and passenger side, because for whatever reason, during a front-end collision, the side curtain airbags blew out, even though the side impact airbags did not blow out of the seats. That was $673.45 used on eBay. Next was the 2018 STI wheels, the 19-inch wheels with the Kumo Extra tires. Those were $800. We could maybe not include those because I haven't put them on the car yet, but I purchased them for the car, so I'm including that $800. Next is the big upgrade of that Coyote radiator we put in instead of the factory plastic radiator. That was $381.47. Great upgrade. If I didn't upgrade anything else, I would have upgraded that radiator. Money well spent, in my opinion. Next was the AC condenser to replace the crushed AC condenser from the car. That was $90.53. I went with an aftermarket one there. I did not want to pay for the Subaru genuine one. I did go a little cheap on that. I think the Subaru genuine was $200. I got a generic crash parts offline for $90. It's worked perfectly fine. The air conditioning system works great. Took a charge, no issues with the pressures, no concerns there. Front bumper cover, we got the new facelifted front bumper cover. That was $253.37. The rear bumper cover we also replaced because we wanted to upgrade to the S209 Type RA, but we also had that damage, that big dent in the bumper and that spider cracking body filler from previous damage. The new rear bumper was $308. Next is a culmination of a lot of things. It was my first order to Subaru Parts Deals. I'll try to recall everything that was in that order. That order came out to $1,809.44. That included the Alcantara steering wheel. That included the impact absorber under the bumper cover. That included the Type RA grille. That included the foam pieces on the sides of the condenser radiator to channel air through the front. That included the side vent covers on the front bumper. That included various body clips and fasteners. That also included the lower control arm on the driver's side where that was mangled. that also included what? Several other things. If I can't recall them now, I'll put them on the screen, but $1,809.44. Next were the driver, the daytime running lights / turn signals, and the piano black STI trim for the bottom of that Alcantara steering wheel. That was $232.39. Next, we've got the airbag module reprogramming. So the airbag modules in these cars, once you have crashed, they store hard fault codes of that crash, and you cannot clear it with a scan tool. Subaru says it's a one-time use. Throw it away after a wreck, replace it with a new module, and program it. But if you look online, there's lots of services where you can send those modules in and have that crash data deleted off of the chipset in that module. I did that rather than buying a new module. The new module, I think, was $200 or $300, but I had it cleared out for $64.79. I did also pay overnight shipping for it because I needed it ASAP for $72.82. Honestly, I could have waited on it, but I was impatient at the time, and that was the last thing I really needed to get the car ready to drive. Next is paint for the front and back bumper. That was another $550. Lastly, we've got the driver seat belt. I had to return the original one I bought because the pre-tensioner was blown in it, and I didn't realize that until I got that airbag module back after it was flash cleared out. So I had to buy a brand new driver seat belt, which was like $300 and something. I went ahead and bought all that piano black trim for the interior, and I bought that piano black and leather lined shifter trim piece from Subaru Parts Deals, and grand total, all three of those items were $4 because it's 2 trim pieces, was $675 even. Lastly, I think I just said lastly, but this is really lastly, belts, filters, and wiper blades. So 2 Rain-X wiper blades, AC belt, and a accessory belt for the alternator power steering, and then a cabin air filter and an engine air filter was $133. So all in all, that brings us to a grand total of $15,547.31, which in my opinion, I think is a really good amount of money to have into a clean title 2017 STI with all of the Type RA and S209 upgrades with under 100,000 miles. I mean, only 86,500 miles on the clock. I'm pretty sure that these cars are still going for above $20,000 in the used market, so I don't think I got hurt with having just under $16,000 in this car. Guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Did I screw myself? Did I put too much money in rebuilding this wreck? Or did I get a great deal at the end of the day? A great car for 16,000 bucks, and I'll be able to sell and recoup my money and then some. So now that that's out of the way, now that we know how much money I put into it, I gotta say, a lot of you have been asking about the car, when I was gonna sell it, if it's for sale yet. It is for sale. I literally just posted it on Facebook Marketplace yesterday. It is for sale. I'm not gonna put the price right here because I have priced myself exorbitantly high, just because I've been dealing with people on Facebook Marketplace for so long that always try to talk me way down on my prices. I gave myself a big buffer for them to actually talk me down to a reasonable amount for the sale price and for me to still make some money on this on the back end. It is for sale. I will try to leave a link in the description for those of you interested. I would prefer if you are local to the Carolinas, reach out to me. I would rather not try to sell this across the country or, you know, on the West Coast where I'm on the East Coast in South Carolina. So if you are interested and a serious buyer, it will be down below if you want to contact me about potentially purchasing the car. You all have known exactly what has been done to it, front to back, what we went through and did to the car. It's all been documented here on YouTube. So you know pretty much what you're getting just from looking at it. So it's do you want it, yes or no, and how much are you willing to pay for it kind of conversation at that point. So there you go. With that said, I think that's covered basically everything we need to cover on the STI project. Curious to hear in the comments what you guys think. Did I put way too much money in a 2017 STI, or did I get a great deal getting this car back up and going and gonna make some money on it in the end? Let me know what your thoughts and feelings are on it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed this series on the STI Resurrection. Hopefully once we get this car sold, we can do more of these and buy some more wrecked cars, maybe some more WRXs, more STIs, something like that. and do some more of these rebuild series. I really enjoyed this. It was kind of stressful there a little bit, but we got it knocked out, got it done. I think it turned out really, really well, and I'm pretty happy with it. So again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you all in the next one.